Hello, and welcome to Commander Snake. Today is my first deck tech. We're going to do it on Prossh, Skyraider of Kher. Prossh is 3 colorless, 1 black, 1 red, and 1 green for a 5/5 flying dragon. And when you cast him, you make cobalts on how much mana you spent to cast him. He also has a built-in sack outlet where you sack another creature. He gets +1/+0 until end of turn. First up is his Voltron package with Kissing Wolf Run for X and 1 green and red. Give him +X/+0 in trample. Next up is Rogue's Passage to give him unblockable. Then we have Berserk to give him +X, where X is his power and trample. We do have to sacrifice him at the end of combat, or end of turn rather, if he attacks. Next up is Tainted Strike. Gives him +1 in infects. Next up is Assault Strobe. Sorcery speed, but still gives him double strike. Then Jessica, Thrice Reborn, will want to use her 0 ability to do triple damage the next time a creature deals damage in combat. Next up is Xenagos, God of Revels. This will give Prossh +X/+X, where X is his power until end of turn. So I'll double Prosh's power and toughness until end of turn and give him haste. Next up is Atarka, World Render. This will give dragons double strike when they attack. And she's a 6/4 flying trample by herself. Next up is Kedis, Emberclaw Familiar. So when you do damage to an opponent with Prossh, the other opponents will also take that much damage. Next up is tokens, token generator. We have Chatterfang, so when we create the kobolds, we'll also create squirrels. And the Chatterfang has a removal ability as well. It's a 3/3 with Forest Walk. Next up is Avenger of Zendikar. It's a 5/5 for 7 mana. And it'll enter and make 0/1 plants for however many lands you have in play. And then when you play a land, you'll get landfall and get a +1/+1 counter on all your 0/1s plants. Next is Kher, because we have Prossh, and it makes more of his kobolds. Next up is the aggro package with Champion of Lambholt. So when a creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on her. And then creatures your opponents control can't block creatures you control as long as they're smaller than Champion of Lambholt. Next up is Beastmaster's Ascension. So when we cast Prossh and this is out, we can swing. That'll be 7 creatures with 6 kobolds and 1 from Prossh. We'll be able to trigger Beastmaster's Ascension and give all our creatures +5/+5 until end of turn. No, permanently, I believe. Sorry. Next up is Org Battle Driver. This guy, if he's in play and we cast Prossh, our kobolds and Prossh will get +2/+0 and haste until end of turn. Then we have Garruk Wildspeaker. He can untap 2 lands for us. He can give us a 3/3 beast, or he could overrun for us for 3. Give our creatures +3/+3 and trample until end of turn. Then we have Craterhoof Behemoth. Creatures I control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures we control. And then we have the Aristocrats theme with Blood Artist to drain an opponent for 1, and Zoo Import Cutthroat to drain everyone for 1, and Goblin Bombardment to sacrifice a creature to do 1 damage to a target. Then we have Falcon Wrath Noble. It's basically Blood Artist, but a little bit bigger. Then we have Impact Tremors, so when a creature enters the battlefield under our control, does 1 damage to each opponent. And Profros does 2 damage to each opponent when a creature enters the battlefield. Also, you can give them your creatures +1/+0 until end of turn. Then we have a quite small draw package with Skull Clamp. Just clamp your little guys and draw 2 cards. And when you sacrifice a creature, draw a card off Smothering Abomination. And then we have Miscellaneous package with Swift Sphere to give Prossh or another creature +1/+1, and Trample and Lifelink. Also prevents your opponents from having Indestructible and Hexproof. Then we got Lightning Greaves to give Prossh haste and protect him. Then we have Eternal Witness to recurse something that we need back from the graveyard. And then Rada is here in place of Oracle Medaya. I don't have an Oracle Medaya in this deck yet, but when I do, it's going to be replaced with this card. Then we have Westville Abbey. We sacrifice 5 creatures and turn Westville Abbey into the Profane Prince, a 9/7 flying lifelink indestructible with haste. Big boy. Then we got the removal package. We got Assassin's Trophy to remove target permanent, Beast Within to remove target permanent, Reclamation Shade to remove artifact or enchantment, and then Crossing Grip to destroy artifact or enchantment at split second, Putrefy to destroy a creature or an artifact. Then we have Dictate of Urbros and Grave Pacts. This will, so when we sacrifice a creature, your opponents will also have to sacrifice a creature. Also, best art, right? Best art for Grave Pacts. Then we have 1 board wipe with Damnation. Then we have Ramp with Mana Vault, with Soul Ring, Chromatic Lantern to fix our colors as well. And then creature-based ramp, which is much more important to us than sorcery or a artifact-based ramp, with Druid Arbinger, Jorga Treespeaker, Bird of Paradise, the High Arc, Deathrite Shaman, None of War Elves, Elvish Mystic, Shakura Tribuilder, Sylvan Caryatid, and then we have a Summerworld Sage that will tap for 3 mana to cast on creatures, to use to cast creatures. Then we have Cryptolithic Rite, so when we have creatures, we can tap them for any color of mana. Also, Ashnod's Altar, so when we sacrifice a creature to Ashnod's Altar, we'll get 2 mana, 2 colorless mana. And then Xenagos, God of Rebels, his +1 is basically a budget Gaia's Cradle, and his +0 we also use to give us a 2/2 Satire once in a while. Then Nessa, Fastwood Seer, will go get us a forest, and then she'll flip so we can get card draw. And if it's a land on top, we'll put it into play. Then we got some sorcery speed ramp with Cultivate, Kadama's Reach, and Explosive Vegetation. And then we have our lands. Then we have our land package. Not going to go over those too much. Lands go into edge on deck. You can suit it to your taste and the budget. Then we have a combo. You can add or remove combos if you'd like. I also have Food Chain besides Kiki Jiki and Zealous Conscript for combo. You don't have to put them in there, but sometimes it's necessary. And then we got your tutor package. I run a lot of tutors in this deck, but the typical deck I run doesn't have a lot because I think too many tutors make it much too consistent. And when we're playing casual, we don't want to be too consistent. All right, that was my deck tech on Prossh, Skyraider of Kher. Thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Commander Snake.